Hello, hello. Let's see if I can tag some people because I'm going to tag my directors. Where my directors at? I'm going to tag some other leaders too that I see that are active. Laura, Anya. Alrighty. Because, you know. Okay. One, two. Hey guys, say hi as you come on. I'm just tagging some people that I see that are on and some of my directors. I don't know who all's on here. That's okay. Hey guys, hello. I'm gonna give everybody just a minute to hop on. So it is Thursday. We're doing Tip Tuesday on a Thursday. It is what it is. Hey Brittany, hey Courtney. Hello guys. Okay, so this is a training that's been on my list for a while, but priorities, right? We gotta prioritize here on what we're doing. And I wanted to come and talk to y'all. It's funny because, like I said, I meant to do this Tuesday, but life, you know. Hey, Anya. Hey, Amanda. So sponsoring. Okay, so I want to start this off by saying that we know that this is not an easy month. Let's be real honest that spring and summer months are and can be difficult, okay? People are in a different mindset. People are on a different schedule. There's so many reasons, right? Why these months are a little bit more difficult. People don't want to party, and sometimes when they do party, they're not as engaged because they're doing other things in life. Scentsy is not as important to them as it is to us, obviously. I mean, y'all know I don't do excuses, but there's so many reasons as to why spring and summer is just statistically shown to be lower than fall and winter months. So I want to start off by saying that. This is something that me and Anya were talking about yesterday, that to know or to see that you have a strong business is when you can still be successful and paid at title and all of those things in the spring and summer months, right? Because when you're in the easy months, it's easy to be paid at title. Let's be honest. The truth is the truth, right? But when it's hard, or when things are going on that aren't in our normal schedule, and you're not paid at title, or you're not getting the PRV that you usually get, or you're not getting the sponsoring that you usually get, that's just even more proof that your business needs growth. You need to grow your business, right? And so how that happens is by sponsoring and by teaching your team to sponsor as a leader, okay? So with all of that being said, I asked the other day, how many sponsoring conversations have you had? And in a low month, a lower month, because it's not a low month, our group numbers are there, our team numbers are there, for me personally, and there's a lot of other people where they're not there. But from experience and from building what I have been a part of to build my business, I can tell you that that comes with building wide. Building long, wide, and not settling for the minimum. So a lot of people will see, oh, I only need 3 active frontline, right, to be paid at title as a leader. So they're like, oh, I have my 3. They're consistently paid they're consistently active. I'm done. I'm good. But I'm going to tell you, from every single title, for every single title in our business, whatever got you to that title. So the month that you promoted that title is not going to be the team. It's not going to be the way to be that every single month moving forward. You have to have growth every single month. You're never going to get to a point in your business. Well, I take it back. It's going to be rare that you get to a point in your business where you're like, I am good. I don't need to sponsor anyone else. I don't need to grow my team anymore. I'm good where I am. Because if you start saying that, that's when you start falling back. Because not everyone is going to work the same every single month. Someone who had 2K last month may have 200 this month. Okay? And that's the part of direct sales that people don't get, or multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it. But with Scentsy and with businesses like Scentsy, there has to be consistent growth to have that consistency in your business, right? So I have to be personally, as an SSD, the highest title in our business, I still have to be consistently growing my team, my frontline, my active frontline, my group, okay? Why? Because that's a rippling effect to my leaders, to my team, to my group, right? So what you're doing as a leader affects your whole team. Okay? So y'all have to keep in mind that growth is not a finish line. If you get to the point where you're saying, okay, I'm good, like I'm a star consultant and I'm good being a star consultant. I'm happy with my paychecks. I love where I'm at with my team. I love being comfortable right here where I am. That's fine. But one day you're going to get to the point where you're not paid a title as a star consultant because the team that got you to star is not going to be the team that keeps you there. Please, if you don't listen to anything else, please listen to that whatever you are being comfortable is not always, that comfortable state is not always going to be there. You're either going to be uncomfortably growing or you're going to be uncomfortably failing. Okay, that's a choice that you have to decide. But with direct sales and with our company, there always has to be movement. Okay. So with all that being said, got kind of sidetracked there, but I asked the other day, how many sponsoring conversations you had, because on a lower month, people are so sales focused, right? As we always should be, that they don't think about the sponsoring aspect of our business. As a leader, your sponsoring and your sales should come hand in hand. Yes, your sales should come first. You shouldn't be sponsoring or training or doing any kind of special things if your PRV is there. If you're in that 16 conversation challenge and you don't have your 500 PRV, you need to leave that group. Sorry, I'm stepping on some toes, but it is what it is, okay? Because you have to have those sales first. Because if you don't have those sales, it doesn't matter who you sponsor. They're not going to trust you because you're not working your business. You're not going to be paid a title because you don't have your minimum PRV. And even if you do have your 500 PRV minimum by the end of the month, that's still not what I'm going to teach you to be successful in this business, okay? Take it or leave it. That's where we're at right now. Okay, so with all that being said, instead of saying, okay, what are your sales this month? I'm asking you how many sponsoring conversations you've had, because why? Like I said at the beginning of this business, that growth, that wide front line, that wide team, numbers don't lie, right? So you could have a team of 5, and as a director, everybody have 2K plus in sales, and you'd probably be paid title, depending on a few other things, right? But if you had those 5 people, then the next month only do 200 PRV, you ain't getting paid a title. Okay, so another part of being a leader is that you're constantly focusing on sponsoring. Okay, you're not always going to have 2+ people join your team every month. That's okay. But having those conversations is so important. So with sponsoring, it's a lifestyle, right? But with anything else in our business, you have to have a system for it. And when I say you have to have, I've had a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm not even getting that. I recommend that you have a system for what you do in your business as a leader. So 1, you can be able to say, this is what I've done this month. 2, so it can be replicatable for your team, because a good leader teaches their team how to do what they're doing. It needs to be teachable and replicatable for your team. Okay? It has to be. You can sponsor all the people, but if you're not teaching your team to do what you're doing to be successful, there's no point in being a leader, right? You can sponsor all these people, but if they're not getting to certified, it doesn't matter, because you're not onboarding them to be successful. Something's not right, okay? So I'm trying to teach you what has worked for me, okay? So we need a system, and that's where this ATF comes in. We've talked about this on a leaders meeting before. If you're new, that's why I'm going over it again. ATF means ask, track, follow up. Okay, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm asking people, but I feel like I've just asked everybody. So when you do a coaching call with me, or the new coaching text I'm doing, and you have an issue with sponsoring, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how many conversations are you having? Okay, and if you say, oh, I don't know exactly how many, but I'm asking everybody I come across. Okay, so the first thing, if you can't tell me how many conversations you are having, that's a problem. because sponsoring comes with asking. Yes, you may get a few joins here and there that join your team without you asking, but to build a huge successful business where you're consistently paid at title and consistently growing your paycheck, you're going to have to put the effort in. I just said this on the last training I did in the 16 Conversations group, but sponsoring is not luck. Sponsoring is a learnable skill that you can be taught to do, and you have to do it in your own way. Okay? So how many conversations are you having? Then I'll ask, who are you asking? What kind of people are you talking to? What makes you ask someone that you're asking? Okay? What kind of people are they? How do you know them? What is your experience with these people? I can tell you that a majority of my people are host exclusive kits, and they're not the host. Okay? So from being able to track my people and to figure out who I'm talking to and who I look to speak to, I'm going to go into that here in a little bit, but the ATF system, ask, track, follow up, is the simplest way that I could put this so that you could replicate it, okay? So the first part of it is ask, just ask, okay? So who are we asking? We're asking every single host. Before the party even starts, I send them a message with all the normal stuff of like, hey, I've got your party set up. I'm going to send you the invite 30 to 50 people. Don't over-invite. You'll be marked for spamming. That whole part. And then at the end I say, and I just want to make sure that you know you have the option to get paid off this party. Do you have any interest in that? Okay. Every single host. Now, whether that's a Facebook party, a Zoom party, a basket party, a personal shopping link, a fundraiser, any kind of party, we have to stop generalizing party as the way that you see parties. If there is a host that is not you, that is getting rewards or getting the fundraising funds, that's a party. They need to be offered that host exclusive kit that's going to come with a qualifying party, okay? And just asking them that simple question, you could get paid off this. Are you interested in that? Most likely they're going to say, what do you mean? Or they're going to say, well, how does that work? Or they're going to say, what do I need to do for that? Let them lead the conversation. You're asking a question and opening a question. That host has to respond to me before I invite them to their party to invite people, because I want to make sure, honestly, that they see that I say don't over-invite, max of 50 people, so they don't invite their whole friends list. Okay, I don't add any host to their party until they respond to me. And that also means that they have to, probably I'd say 90% of the time, respond to that question. Sometimes they totally ignore it. Totally fine. It's not a big deal. If they totally ignore that question, I'll ask again later on and say, hey, I just wanted to touch base about what I asked you earlier. Are you interested in getting paid off this party? Okay. You can say it however you want. You don't have to say, are you interested in getting paid off this party? You can put it however you want that feels good to you, okay? So every single host gets asked. If you're partying 8 times, 4 times, 2 times, those are conversations that are going towards your tracking, okay? People who spend a lot with you. If you have someone who consistently buys from you every single month plus, we all have them, right? I have people who still I've asked many times and they're like, no, you just treat me so well. I still ask them eventually, because I'm like, if nothing else, you need to be getting paid off your purchases, right? And some people will tell you, no, we want quality over quantity. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not a believer of that, because I've had those people who say, I just want to join to get paid off my purchases, and they are leaders now. And they're changing their life because they got in the door, they saw how much they love doing it, and it changed. So let's be real clear that we don't want to answer those questions. We don't want to decide someone else's fate. We don't want to answer for someone else about their business, okay? So don't give the excuse of why you're not asking someone, because I used to do that. I know that. I've been there. I've done that. Trust me when I say don't answer it. Sarah Evans is the perfect example of that. Never asked her to join, never thought she'd be interested in it, and now she's going to be a director this year. Boom. Okay, so let's be real clear with that. People that this business could bless. If you see someone who is on really hard times, how could this business bless them? In a lot of ways. Reach out to them and let them know that. Anyone who loves our products. This is a key word. If anyone is going on and on and on about how much they cannot get over, how much they love their Scentsy Fresh, and it does wonders, and they don't know how it works, but it's amazing, they love spraying it, and they're using that kind of inflection in their voice where they can't get enough of it, that's a green light. You need to ask them if they ever thought about being a consultant. Because what they just told you is what they would tell their friends, and that's social selling, which is a part of direct sales, okay? Anytime you're in a conversation and it feels right. Okay, so I will say I'm a really good reader of people. I can see someone and be like, yep, she cray, or yep, she would be awesome at this, or yep, nope, not for me, right? And not everybody's good with that, but sometimes you'll be in a conversation with someone and they'll say something and you'll just be like, gosh, you'd be really good at this. And you're thinking that like, oh, I would love to work with someone like her that's positive and that's talking to me the way that she's talking to me. I can see her doing this. I can see her being successful, or she reminds me of this person. And at my event the other day, this lady was talking about how much Scentsy she has, how her husband is always like, you're buying too much of it, la-da-da. And I was like, well, I do have, I do have a discounted kit if you're interested in talking about that. And she was like, oh, okay. And she showed interest. It didn't go anywhere. Totally fine, right? That's normal. But when he walked away, my son is sitting there watching me, and Bennett said, you're really good at talking to people. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the way that you just talked to that lady and you offered her to do this with you, that was so nice. The innocence of a child right there. That was a mind-blowing moment to me too, because I was like, it's just a part of what I do now, that when I see someone and I know that how they're going on and on about our company and how much they love our products, that they should be doing this too. Why not get paid back on their purchases? Minimum. Right? But the fact that the innocence of a child is like, wow, you offered that to her? That was so nice of you. We have to get out of our own head, right? Because 3 years ago, I would have been like, never saying anything. And I still, to this day, like, I don't like going up to people randomly and talking about Scentsy. I have anxiety over that. My husband will literally go do it for me sometimes, y'all. I'm an SSD. We'll be in the PX parking lot and we'll see a car bar hanging from someone's rearview mirror, and he'll be like, go put a scent circle. And I'm like, no, I don't want them to see me. Get over yourself, Whitney. Get over yourself. Go put a scent circle with your information on their windshield. Okay? We have to have that change. We have to have that growth. And just know that you're the only one that can do that. Okay? So yeah, you just have to ask. That's the A of ATF. The second part is track. And this is probably the most important part. If you're new to having conversations or you're a new leader, start doing this now so it's just a part of what you do. Okay? You have to track what kind of conversations you're having. Yes, sponsoring is a lifestyle and for a lifetime. Sponsoring is something that you should be doing normally. It shouldn't be something necessarily that is a checklist, but as a checklist person, that's what I have to be able to say, yes, I've had my 30 conversations this month, and here is how they went, because I need to be able to go back and look at that, right? So tracking. Write it down, whatever that looks like for you. I have mine on a dream team list. That's what it's called. I don't even know who this is from. It doesn't really matter, but I edited it for mine, I just didn't at the top. It says Dream Team List at the top. It literally has 3 columns: name, convo dates, and notes. And in here, I will put their name, the date I asked them last, and the notes. I have in my notes right now, no, not now, no response, no response. Used to be a consultant, not interested, no, no, no response, no, reinstate. Okay, the other ones I haven't filled out yet because they probably haven't responded. So I've asked 16 plus people this month, and I haven't gotten a yes. That's okay. That's normal. Just expect that, right? Because if you're getting no's, you're working. But track it and write it down. Name, date, and notes. Because those are the 3 things that are most important that I have found. Now, you may find something different if you do edit it to your liking. But that's the information I need to know. So 3 months from now, I can go back and I can say, yes, I asked Karen Carlson to join my team. And I also told her that I had a discounted kit if she wasn't interested. So if she had anybody else that she knew that would be interested, to let me know. That's a referral. If someone joins my team and you refer them, you get something, you get a gift from me, right? That's a way of sponsoring too. Put it out there. So really simple. Ask, track, and the last part is follow up. So when you're following up, you're doing that in time. So like for me, I like to be between 2 to 3 months probably from the last time that I asked them. I follow up with join specials. So if there's a join special, so whether that be $20, $49, whatever, we have so many different ones, it doesn't matter. That's an excuse for me to go back and talk to all these people. This is just this month. I have my sheets from previous months, right? Where I'll go back and I'll say, Karen, girl, I know we talked about this before, but it's only $20 to join this month. Just wanted to make sure you saw. Okay? I'm following up with her. I've already planted the seed. We've already talked about it. She's already told me no, or she's told me maybe later, or she's said I'll keep it in mind, or whatever her response was. I'll have it on my sheet, but then I can follow up with her, and that's just another reason to follow up. Now, if I asked her this month and there's a joint special next month, depending on the person, really is how I would feel about that. With Karen, I probably would, but with someone else, I may not, okay? That's when I'm going to follow up with them, and I have my tracking to follow up. When you see a change in their tune, so what does that mean? That means when you know when you're talking to someone and they tell you no when you're asking them about the opportunity, and it's just a hard no, like it's whatever, right? Which I said in the training before this, more than half of my front line were no's first. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind too. Just because it's a no right now doesn't mean a no forever. That doesn't mean you ask them every single day to join your team, right? But that doesn't mean no forever. Where was I going with that? Oh, when you see a change in their tune. So when they're messaging you after maybe that first conversation where they're like, no girl, like I'm good right now, maybe later. And then a couple months later, they say something like, I cannot get over how much I love the new hand soap just because it's a bigger bottle. That's a green flag. I know. I've always loved the hand soap. I hated the little bottle, and I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to relate with her. I'm going to say, yes, I agree. Anyone that's my friend or customer knows that I love our hand soap, but I hated the little bottles. And now there is literally nothing more perfect. But I'm going to relate with her, and I'm going to keep that in mind that, yes, something in that tune has changed. She's loving our products more than she did the last time I talked to her, right? So I may put that in my notes section on my track. The other time to follow up is when you see a life-changing event. If you see something in someone, maybe they lost a job. Maybe they are saving for a vacation. Maybe they are needing money for bills, right? All of those things are a segue to say, like, hey, I'd love to do a fundraiser for you to buy uniforms for your cheerleading team. Okay? You get that host, you get that ask, you get that track. Okay? So just keep that in mind that the follow-up part of this system is just as important. Now, with this being a system, when I think system, I think like robotic, like that's right? That's how things run, because this is what you need to do, this is what you do, and it's done, right? And that's just how, like, I'm a very technical person, and I need to know how to do it with the feelings out of it, okay? But with this being a system, there still has to be three things. Another acronym for you. You know, I'm a military wife. CCR. Conversation. You need to be having conversations with people one-on-one. This is not just going to be sharing about someone joining your team. Stop sharing about someone joining your team. Stop saying you're looking for someone to join your team. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, for real though. Stop saying join my team. Stop sharing graphics that say join my team. That's so spammy, and people are not going to relate with that. Okay? You need to be having one-on-one conversations with these people. The second part, the CCR, C is connection. How do you connect to them? How do you know them? Who are they? And that's the last part, is the relationship. What kind of relationship do you have with them? Are they strictly customer? Are they coming to your friend's side? Are they more like family at this point? Where are they? Okay, Karen has sent me Christmas cards the last 2 times. I've never met her in my life. I don't even know where I met her, but I met her through a party. We have kept in touch. She is literally like an aunt to me. Okay, I have a very strong relationship with Karen. And I don't even know if I would know her out of a group of people because I don't know her personally. But I do definitely have the conversation, definitely have the connection with her. And yes, I have a very strong relationship with her. She may never join my team. She's a great customer, right? But I know in her instance, I know who she is. I know how this could help her. And right now her answer is maybe when I retire, because she's a few years from retiring. Okay, awesome. And when someone tells me no, or when someone tells me no right now, that is my response. No worries, girl. I love having you as a customer. Or no worries at all. I enjoy having you as a customer. I love spoiling you as my customer. I love taking care of you. Thank you for just continuing to choose me, even though you don't want to do this as a job or as a side gig. Make sure they know that it's okay that they're not interested. It's okay they're not interested right now. Not everyone is meant to be on your team. Scentsy's not for everyone. It can be, but it's not. Okay? So that's something else to keep in your mind. So with the ATF, you're welcome to use my dream team list. Literally, like I said, it's an Excel spreadsheet that has name, date, and notes. You can do it on notebook paper. You can do it on sticky notes, which I actually don't recommend because I do one of these a month. So with this one, it has 20 on the first page, 40 on the next. Because I should be having 30 minimum a month, and sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. Let's be real honest, I don't always have 30 conversations. But when I do, that's when I'm strongest in my sponsoring. Okay? So if you're sponsoring, if you're having those conversations, great. But if you're not tracking them, start doing that. You're going to realize you're not having as many conversations as you think you are. You're not technically having those conversations. You may be sharing something on social media, which is still super important. Don't share the join my team, but share how Scentsy is blessing you. Share how you use the products. Share how you love it. Share that you're going to get your nails done because of it. Include the income disclosure, right? Share what Scentsy's doing for you, but stop saying join my team. It's verbiage that needs to be taken out, okay? But still share about what's going on, but you need to be tracking the conversations, that first C. You need to be tracking who you're talking to, because you're going to realize you're not asking that many people. When you are thinking or you're focusing on sponsoring, you're going to feel like you're doing a lot more than you are, right? Because you have to intentionally scroll. You have to really figure out who you're going to ask, right? Sometimes, a lot of the time, I'll say, sometimes, like I said, when it's right in a conversation, I'll have the conversation first, and then I'll track it. But to be 100% transparent, I usually track it first. I usually go through and I'll write down who I'm going to ask, right? So then I can intentionally focus on 10 minutes of asking these people, right? And do it in a way that feels good to you. Don't do it in a gross way. But just to use her again, Karen, say that she ordered last month. I thanked her for her order, but I noticed I hadn't asked her in a few months. I would say, hey, I know we just chatted, but just wanted to check in and see if you thought any more about being a consultant. It's not a big deal. Track who you're going to talk to first, if that's more helpful for you, right? And then get what you're going to say. It can be similar, right? But we're not copying and pasting. We're not, when me and Megan did the challenge the other day of 16, there were quite a few of those that I did actually copy and paste, where I just said, hey, their name. I don't even remember what I said, but it was a similar message because it was a follow-up to a previous conversation that had happened months ago. So that's a little bit different, right? The last thing I'm going to say about this is that all of this system, the robotics of what's going on here, woo, what was that? Did y'all see that? Piece of paper or something. The robotics of our system, it can't be robotically done, right? So conversations need to be happening in between those joint conversations. That relationship needs to be built before you're asking someone to join. The first time you talk to someone shouldn't be to ask them to join your team, or however you want to put it, right? Because that's not genuine. You don't really see something in them. You just see them as a warm body to join your team, to add to the numbers. And that's not what we're looking for, okay? If you don't have enough people to ask, you need to go back to partying to grow your customer base. So if you're to the point, and I've been to this point very many times in my business, actually currently this is what I'm working on, growing my customer base, because I felt like I have literally asked everyone. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. So again, like I said in the previous training, everybody knows what I do. The excitement of Scentsy with my family and friends ended 4 years ago. They know that this is what I do, right? So it's harder because you really have to focus on building those new connections and building those new relationships and building those new conversations. And that's what you have to do to go back to the drawing board. You can go ahead and put them on your dream team list. Just don't write a date yet until you actually talk to them. But you could have a new customer and you just love how maybe they do their social media or how they share, and they order from you, and you would like to ask them one day, put them on your dream team list, or you're tracking, whatever that looks like. Just wait to ask them until you can actually get to know them and see who they are as a person, okay? Growing your customer base is so important, and that's where the sponsoring comes from, because your friends and family will only take you so far in this business. This business is not about you wearing your friends and family out to buy and join Scentsy. That's not a business. Okay, it's just like a coffee shop. You have to find new customers. You have to appeal to other people. And we just did a training on growing our customer base last month. So if you didn't watch that training, go back and watch that. And if you also feel like I've seen a lot of comments about needing to grow your customer base. Anya has talked about this before. Intentionally scroll, right? So intentionally look for people. Go through your VIP list, your VIP group list. Go through your order history. All of those things will bring up new names, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about her. She hadn't ordered in a while. Let me check in on her. Right? Because even with your follow-up system, sometimes people get missed, or maybe it's been a really long time, since they ordered. So just know that sponsoring is not going to happen overnight. Sponsoring is a learned skill, but you have to take what's being brought to you, what's being taught to you by your leaders, and then take it to do on your own, because it is a learnable skill, but it has to be done to be learned. Okay? There's not a perfect created message. There's not a certain time of day or a certain way to talk to someone to get them interested. It's more about this conversation, connection, and relationship with people. So ask, just freaking ask, track, write it down, and then follow up. And I promise you, you will see results when you start doing that consistently. Maybe not this month, maybe not next month, but if you're consistently tracking all of these conversations you're having, and you're having them in a genuine way, you will start to see those harvest and bloom and add to your team. Love y'all. If you have any questions, let me know. The Dream Team list is in this group. It's on the Legacy Leaders Google Drive as well. If you can't find it, let me know. I love y'all. Please let me know if you have questions. Know that I'm here for you. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. This group is for you. Love y'all. Have a good day.